Hello, everyone. Hi, Lisa. You're gonna have to lower all your volume.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good. I want to make sure, did Julie sent out an email with an outline for today's class? A template, a listing presentation template, and a listing packet. Did you guys get that?
I think so. Let me check.
Okay. Flor? Sorry, I couldn't answer you earlier. I was doing a buyer presentation here at the office. I just finished at 12:30 and grabbed some lunch. So.
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anybody else is going to be joining us. It's 1:02. We can give them like maybe a few more minutes. Let me see here.
We don't have funds yet wired to their title. Please, and how soon that will be addressed. Thanks.
I'm going to have to plug in. Can you?
Plug in your.
Okay. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, awesome. So this outline I've also, we emailed to you guys so you can follow along. And I want to thank everyone for, the well wishes. Lord, I want to thank you for the tea. I've been drinking it. And Lisa, I want to thank you for all the information you gave me while I was in the hospital because I really needed it. So thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
I'm feeling better. My voice still shakes a little bit, I guess, from out of the breath, but overall, I'm improving every day. And so,
good to hear.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. So here we are. We wanted to open up today with a little market update, just because our market is forever shifting, and recently it has shifted a little bit. I'm not going to say tremendously. I think we're still in multiple offer situations, and it's still a real strong seller's market. Peo said that he's noticed that it's slowed down a little. He doesn't have as many offers as he did on his listings, but he's still having multiple offers. We also noticed they're not as aggressive with removing appraisals, like waiving appraisals and such. So, but there are, like, for instance, I listed one up out in Cypress, and I only received 3 offers. And I did get an offer for 10,000 above, but they didn't waive anything. And that's in the 240, 250 range. So that market, that price range is still moving really fast, because that's pretty much our average median price. And that's pretty low considering other homes, right? So, and as far as appraisals, Peo and I have done several where they were selling for above the list price, and we haven't had any issues with meeting the sales price. In some cases, the buyers did just go ahead and waive it, or they would say they pay the difference, or they pay a portion, but we didn't have any issues. So, and what we do, is we get our comps ready, and we have it ready to justify. And every single appraisal process, I was asked for my comps, like what comps help for us to help out the appraisers. And so that's what we've been doing. Submitted those ahead of time, and That's great. If they ever never ask you about that information, my recommendation is to print stuff out and go leave it in the house. Just leave it on the island. Leave a little note that says for appraiser. And he'll look at them. He may not take them, but I think he will at least look at them. So that way he can know, you know, that you got what comps you're using. And so if he can use them, he will. Okay. So just wanted to give you a quick market update on that. Does anybody have any questions about the current market? Nobody? Okay.
Maybe this question is, well, the market is still strong on the seller side,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I just like, I don't know, have some showings and I have some clients and I really don't know what I'm doing wrong because when I try to, they barely put in their papers together, trying to make the offer, and then, yeah, next day the house is already pending. So, yeah, it's hard. I say, I don't know, what can I do? Or can we present the offer before seeing the house? Or probably that's for another.
That's exactly what I was doing, Claude, because the same thing happened for me. You know, just getting the schedule with the buyer and then getting off of work and then coordinating with you, going to look at the house, and then it's gone, right? So I
I'm
was
sorry,
telling,
Erica, I can hardly hear you. It's kind of low, the volume.
you may have to adjust the volume on your computer.
Okay,
I'll put it closer to me so someone
Thank you.
can pick me up. So that's what I started doing is I started telling them, if you see a house, look, everything's going into multiple offers. Let's just put in an offer. So we would put in an offer before we go see it. And most of the time we wouldn't get it, you know, so we never, at least you weren't driving to see it and then you don't get it. So that is a recommendation. Now it's all up to the buyer. Sometimes buyers don't want to do that. They want to look at the house. But once they get, you know, they start seeing like, oh, I missed this house and then I missed this other house, they may consider your suggestion. But I would bring that up to your buyer as a suggestion. Say, let's do this because by the time we go look at it and the offer is put together, it's gone. You can also remember if you go look at a house and you're there, you can use Julie. Julie is a transaction coordinator and she can do that offer for you. You just have to call her so she can collect the details and write that offer for you. So, you know, by the time you guys drove out, she's already working on it. If you called her and gave her the info, and then she's sending it to you to review. Once you approve it, it goes straight to your buyer and your buyer can sign it. And once it comes back, you can submit it yourself or you can ask Julie to submit that offer for you. And that way it's fast. She'll need a lot, she'll need information, and there's an information sheet that we have particularly for submitting offers. And she will need your buyer's pre-approval letter because that letter says on there the loan to value and such and their rate. So she can copy that into the third party financing. Okay.
Awesome. That helps a lot.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
today let's go ahead and get, I'm sorry, you ready? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on winning the listing. Okay. We want to start like basically the outline has all the information there from beginning to getting the paperwork signed. And it starts with receiving the lead. When you receive the lead, you know, sometimes it's a phone call, sometimes it's an email, or you struck up conversation somewhere with someone and they say, oh, I do want to sell my house. So, you know, you get leads all the time. I get them sometimes when you're driving. So I think listings are high priority. So if I would get a listing call and I'm driving and I'm able to pull over into a parking lot or something, I would, because I prefer listings over buyers, okay, because that's where the meat is with the listing. You're going to do a lot less work with listings than you are with buyers. So if you have the opportunity to pick that up, take it as high priority. So I would pull over so that way I can gather the information and maybe even already start kind of looking at the house there online. So you receive the lead, you get the phone call, then what's next, right? This is what we do. We do this acronym called LP Mama, okay? The L is for location. So you get the call, you're talking to them, Of course, you greet them and how did they hear about you and so forth. Hopefully it's a referral because those are the best. So where's your home located? You know, oh, it's located so forth. Sometimes you ask one question and they give you a bunch of more answers because they're always wanting to talk about their home and themselves. And are you selling and buying another home? You want to know what's their goal, right? At this point, you're going to sell that to buy another one. Are you retiring? Are you going somewhere else? Or, what are you doing? That's great, great information to know upfront. And then you can go ahead and ask them because a lot of sellers are super savvy and they're watching the market and they know what their neighbor's house sold for probably, or they know where they put it up. Oh, they put it up for sale, so forth. So ask them, do you already have an idea from your own research, or maybe a neighbor that sold a house, how much your home could sell for? Do you have an idea? Because you can let them know up front. Well, I'm driving right now, I'm going to pull over to get your information. The entire goal, the number one goal from that conversation with your client is to get a face-to-face appointment to get to their house, okay? So under P, right, you ask them about the pricing. So that's what P is for pricing. And then M is motivation. Why do you want to sell? What do you want to move? Like what is it that why, right? Find the hot button. Find like why, basically. And they'll tell you, oh, well, this neighborhood, or we don't like the schools anymore. And everybody has a different story. So you want to find that hot button because later on, you're going to use that hot button to hopefully get that listing agreement signed and get them to agree to your suggested sales price, right? Remember, you really want to move. We're going to get you a better home. You've got to price it right, right? And then A, one blank. Agent, okay. Have you consulted with any other agents? Are you interviewing any other agents? Find out if you have competition, okay? Because you could be getting the appointment, but then that same day they're going to be interviewing 2 other agents. So you want to know where you stand. And if they are interviewing other agents, Robert suggests trying to be the last one, right? But if you can't be the last one and you're the first one, then you got to really bring your game to try to really get that listing on that first one, right? And hopefully with this presentation, if you get very well organized and you give a good presentation and you connect well with the client, hopefully they won't want to interview any more people, right? So that's where you're at. And then mortgage. The next one is mortgage. You're going to find out they're going to buy another house. You can't just assume that they will be able to buy another house. And my example here is I recently had a client that I sold his house, went to meet him. We started the whole process. I had not gone to his house yet to look at it because I stopped here at this part mortgage. And the reason why is because of COVID and the pandemic, he had not been making payments on his house. He had previously to COVID had asked for a forbearance or a modification. So he did a modification to his existing mortgage on the house he wants to sell. And because he did this modification, he needed a new basically payment history. So he can't even qualify for a new house right now. And that's the same thing with any seller out there. You want to make sure that they're going to be able to buy, because if their motivation is I want a bigger house or bigger area and they can't buy that, then they're not going to be able to move right now, right? So it could be 3 months, 6 months before they're ready. So it's still important for them to check their credit, and it's still important for them to consult with the loan officer. So that way, they're going to be ready to buy. If they want to move from this $200,000 house and I want to buy a $400,000 house, are they able buyers? Okay. And then A, the appointment, get the appointment. The goal to the entire conversation, like I said, is to go in person. Okay, great. I've gathered your information. I got, and you will be asking information on the house too. But you want to say, when can you meet? I like to go in person because my analysis is a 2-part step. I run a CMA that just crunches numbers. It doesn't look at your home and we don't know the condition of your home. I got to see that in person. My analysis has to be in person. When can we meet? So get the appointment. Oh, well, you can come over, Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then find out too, is it a husband and wife? Can both of them be together? Because they need to make a decision together on what agent they're going to go with. And you need them to be there to sign anyway, right? Get the appointment. Other questions you're going to ask them while you have them on the phone? Regarding the home, how many bedrooms does your home have? Bathrooms? What's the age of your home? Yes, you can get this information off the tax record, but you don't know if it's accurate because they could have done modifications. They could have added square footage or added a whole room, added a whole bathroom. We don't know what they added, right? So you ask about the enhancements as well. So I see your home is from 1985. So you might have been able to pull over while you were driving. So you kind of have an idea, right? But they'll tell you the age of the home. You just ask them. They're always willing to talk about their house. So your home is from 1985. Have you done any enhancements? What about how did you update the roof, windows, plumbing? Maybe you added a pool or a really nice patio in the back or something like that. So find out up front, because you're kind of blind at this point. How you're going to go compare the house. You can only see the pictures to the other houses that have sold, right? Comparables, but you're trying to get a picture of the house that you're going to price. Okay. So in the email that Julie sent out, there is the packet that we have. I'm going to try to pull it up. She copied me on it. Oh, Julie, I don't think I have a copy. Yeah, I do. Where is it? It's by Julie?
It may be attached to, I put the notes and then the rest of the attachments. So it may be all in, yeah, that one, the final listing, that one.
Okay.
So if you scroll down, yeah.
Okay. So that's it. Okay. So here's an overview of the listing packet. How can I download it? Okay. Oh, well, then I have all that together. So let's talk about the listing packet and the paperwork really quick. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about each one, okay? Because you guys do have to review these documents, and if you have questions, you can let us know. If you want information on how to fill out anything, let us know. You definitely want to know how to fill out everything before you get to your listing appointment. So in your packet, absolutely always IABS, always. Then you have your residential listing agreement. I take it printed out with me. I take a packet for me, and I take a packet for them, because I want them to have a copy of everything I want them to sign. Okay, my goal is to walk out of that house with a signed listing agreement so I can go put my sign up. Okay, you don't have to put it into MLS right away. You can put it into coming soon status. I'm sorry, you have to put it into MLS in coming soon status, but you start promoting yourself out there in that neighborhood that you're the agent that's going to sell this house. So in your packet, IABS, your listing agreement, you will know up front, are you in an HOA? Do you need a water district form? And your seller's disclosure. Let me pause real quick on the seller's disclosure. I take the seller's disclosure, I give it to them right there. I don't leave it with them to do. I'm going to try to help them get all the questions out so they can fill it out right there. Okay, so your goal again is to have this packet fully done when you're leaving. You're going to be ready to scan your paperwork in and start working on your listing. Then you ask them, do they have an existing property survey from when they purchased a home? And then right there, you will be able to determine, of course, if they do have one, and they usually will have it in their old closing packet. Ask them, and you can even tell them up front, hey, when I come over on Wednesday at 11 a.m., do you mind looking for that closing packet when you closed on your house? You have it out because there's some documents in there that I'm going to need to review with you. Okay, so they probably will have it ready. A lot of people have it, or sometimes they give it to them digitally and they'll be able to pull it out. So you want to look at the survey. You want to find out if they've done any structural changes to the property. Even adding a covered patio in the back, that's structural. You're going to take with you a T47 residential property affidavit form to go with your survey, so you can fill it out right there and then. We also provided with you an improvement list. You're going to go over the improvements that they've done to the home. Is it flooring? I always ask, when did you do the flooring? What kind is it? So you start writing down, and what do you estimate the cost of that to be? Like what did it cost you? What you're trying to do is make sure that you gather all the improvements they've done, so you can make sure to help your seller justify the value of the home. Okay, so you have improvements list, you have an exclusion list. What are they not going to leave in the home? In your 1-4 contract, you need to read that section that it states the accessories and the attachments to the home. Okay, because of any of those things that they're going to take with them, you need to put it in the exclusions list or have them remove it before you list the house. And that goes for TV wall mounts, not the TV, but the wall mounts, curtains, blind, of course the blinds, but I'm talking about the rods and the actual curtains. Those are enhancements to the home and they're attached to the home. So if they're going to take them, you have to include them. So read that paragraph very, very carefully, okay, because you're on the seller side now. And it's important for you to know what the seller must leave behind. And they don't have to, as long as they exclude it. If there's a specific chandelier, you've got to exclude it, and then you're gonna have to find out what they're gonna replace it with, or just replace it ahead of time and then avoid that problem. Then you have a home features list that we've included. You can put on there features like how old is the AC, other information that is not on the seller's disclosure can go on the home features list, or if they've added any type of, like for instance, I have a home, they added like radiant bare deck. It's an old home and they added a bunch of things. So home features list is good as well. Showing instructions form, you want that so that way you have everything ready. You collect the information. This information is either going to go into CSS or showing time, or it's for you. You're going to set the appointments yourself. A make ready checklist is provided as well for you in the packet, and you should take it with you. And then at a certain point in your presentation, when they're agreeing to work with you, you're going to use that make ready checklist. Okay. And then you have a net sheet. The net sheet I run through Fidelity National, the app. If you don't have the app, it's free. You can get it. I pay for the premium one, which is like $12 a year. I just like it because it has more features. If you don't want to use the app, which I recommend that you have it, there is a net sheet you can use on the Matrix. Okay. I don't know. And I think there's one on your mobile app too, but I don't use that one. I use the Fidelity one. I like that one the best. Okay. So that is an overview of the forms that you need. And then of course, Julie has included copies of everything. Okay. Let me go here to the features sheet because I wanted to make sure about that. Showing instruction. Oh, very good. Feature sheet right here. Let's go back to that. This is a feature sheet that you want to get. And this information you're going to need to remember when you're listing the house and the end to the matrix. You're going to need to know all this stuff. Okay. The reason I created it is because we have Julie submit our listings and Julie's never seen the house. So sometimes she has to wait for the pictures so she can scan through them to see what the details are. But if this is a new form we added to our packet. So now I can just get this information for her and she's going to have the listing ready. So when the pictures are in from our photographer, she just activates because she's already done everything, right? And it also included the dimensions. You should have with you, well, you can have a regular measuring tape, but they have the digital ones. I recommend that you get your own measurements on that, okay? But you could always put on the MLS that they're not guaranteed, right? They have to verify their own. But the measurements are important because that's something Julie does have to put in, or you have to put into your MLS. Okay, and then you have that, and then the checklist. Okay, so that's the overview of the.
They also
of your
have those.
pack.
They also have some cheap ones. They also have some cheap ones you can buy. They're like $20, and you just set them against the wall on one end of the wall, and it does an electric or measurement for you instead of you doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
perfect. Those are the best because those are fast. You don't need a second person to help you pull it. So yeah, you can do that yourself. Okay. Now some agents have a listing presentation. Some agents do not. Okay. Everybody does this part a little bit different. It's always been recommended that you do. I do have a listing presentation that I have put together over the years. I have customized it to be about the Santana real estate team. And ultimately the brand is you. You are the brand. Yes, you're with Texas Key Holders Real Estate, but you need to put your presentation and it needs to be about you and what you offer, your marketing plan. And so I have worked on mine over the years. I've used templates and then I've just adjusted it to be more custom to me. I don't give my presentation to the client, like in a paper form or nothing. I have a couple of booklets that I have bonded, or what's it called? On the spiral and everything. And I use it as a guide, okay? So I have a hard copy of my presentation, but I always take with me my tablet, my iPad. Because on the iPad, I can open it and it's digital right there. I'm also, a few times I've been able to cast from my tablet to their TV because we're sitting in the living room, and then boom, I just cast it. And it's just a visual, it's just for you to have a visual and for you to have a guide to talk about you presenting, okay? I'm gonna I'll pull up my listing presentation to show you guys, but in the email, you should have a copy of it as well. So, and let's go ahead. And like, I know Peo, you don't have one, correct?
I don't have a
No.
listing presentation, no. I'm
He
a
has
little
it
bit
here.
different. Yeah,
Yeah, he has it all here. Everybody's different, okay?
yeah,
So,
so I
we're gonna
I highly recommend that everybody does the listing presentation that Erica's presenting, because it's gonna help you. It takes a lot of time to get good at it. So what she's teaching y'all right now is exactly what everybody really needs to plan and use. I'm more of a get me in front of them, and I'll be able to get the listing. You know, I have lost listings before, you know, but a lot of time it's about making that connection.
Mhm. And I have that, where is it at? Okay, I have that here in two different parts. Your goal is not just to go and show them your presentation, your goal is there, build rapport, joke around with them, find a connection, find a common interest. Oh, I see you went to Cancun, you're looking at their pictures. Oh, I see you went to Cancun. I've been there, I went to that resort, blah, whatever. Peo, y'all know Peo can do that easily, right? Joke around and connect with people. And you should ask them, you know, or I said that, like when you're emulating copying,
And
you know, you should try to do that as well, because Peo connects with people and they like him, and that's probably why they listed with him.
yeah, and one of the things that I'm I'm very, very, very different. I go to listing presentation in shorts and a t-shirt, and a lot of the times is because a lot of these people are referrals, and they know me, you know. So I show up, and that kind of, you know, shows them that hey, I'm okay. You know, you can talk to me, you can relax and whatever. Yeah, it's a little bit of different, you know, for me. My last, man, I'll be honest with you. I think my last 6 or 7 listings I've done in listing presentations I've done in shorts. You know, and just to kind of uh, uh, go back to what Erica was touching base on, you have to find that connection, break the ice, make jokes, find a connection. If they have a dog in their house, say, oh my God, you know, pet the dog once or twice, or cat, whatever it is, find a connection. If you're not an animal lover, you don't have to do that. Me, I hated pets and dogs and cats until we got Mia. It changed my whole perspective on pets. And then I could see how animals, how people love their animals just like their kids. So it changed my perspective. So that's one of the things that if I see something, you know, I'll relate to them. So just find something that you can relate to them. Don't be uptight, don't be nervous. And if you do not know the answer to something that they're asking you, don't be afraid to say, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you. You know, because you don't want to ever give them false information, you know, and then they say, oh shit, that's not true what she told us. And then you're having to go back and walk your way back out of that. So instead of making stuff up that you don't know, just don't be scared to say, I don't know the answer to that question, but I'll make sure and find out what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So ultimately, what does he do when he goes? He sells himself. The brand is called you, Peo Rubio in this case, right? Or you, Flor Junco. So you're selling yourself. So ladies, go comfortable. Wear something you feel really good in. Payo goes comfortable in shorts. You don't want to wear something that's bothering you just because you wanted to look super professional or cute. That's not the goal. The goal is to connect. So sometimes you can't connect and you're all suited up and stuff. So wear something you feel good in, because you are basically, you're on display. It's all about you. So make sure that part is ready, and then of course you can always practice your presentation in a mirror and make sure what you're saying and so forth, but that's something else. Let's get back to this part. I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to pull up the presentation here in a little bit so we can go over it, but the day of the appointment, make sure you arrive on time to your appointment. My suggestion and what I do is I arrive ahead of time. I arrive maybe 15, 20 minutes ahead of time. I drive around in the neighborhood and I see some, what the movement is there. Do people take care of their homes? Is it, people keep very manicured. What kind of neighborhood am I dealing with? Because I haven't really seen the neighborhood. I just seen the comps online, but I haven't got an overview. Does the neighborhood have tennis courts and all this? And you go look at it. How is it well kept or not? Basically, is it a neighborhood that looks like it's going up, right? In value. And then I also drive around and I'm there and I use my mobile app and I go back in, I check my comps one more time, and I do it by nearby search, and I put nearby homes for sale and I do nearby homes sold. Why? Because I don't want to walk in with a CMA that has a listing that's sold down the street and somehow my CMA didn't pick it up or something. I don't know. I want to be really well prepared. Or what if a home between the time you did your CMA and you're coming, another home got listed. So you want to have all the up-to-date stuff, because your seller is going to have all the up-to-date stuff, because if they're wanting to sell, they're watching their the neighborhood activity themselves. Okay. So, and if you don't know how to use that on your mobile app, I suggest that you play with the mobile app and look around, figure out how to use the nearby search. You have a lot of tools right there in your fingertips with just using that HAR app. Okay. So now, here's the thing. I'm gonna go over the way Robert and I go to a presentation. I don't go immediately in and start touring the house. I don't do that. If they want to tour, like if they feel like, I feel like they really, really want to give me a tour, I'll let them. But at that point, I'm not giving them any advice. They haven't hired me. I'm not gonna tell them, oh, you should do this. No, I'm not gonna do that until they tell me they're gonna hire me and we can start going through my paperwork. Because you can easily blow 2 hours doing all kinds of stuff and then they don't even sign with you. So I'm not gonna blow my time like that. My goal is just right now to get there, connect, and start going over their goals again. Because once you knock, you enter, you greet, hey, and so what's your plan after that, right? So let's say they say, well, where do you prefer to sit, so forth. Well, I prefer to go sit at their kitchen table or their dining table. But sometimes that's not available, or maybe they're already packing and they got their stuff everywhere. Okay, well, fine, the living room is fine, right? That's why I take either my tablet or I take my presentation on a hard copy, so I can just hold it up like this. We don't have to be at a table yet. So I'll go in, I hope at the kitchen table, and we're more comfortable, and I go over the LP Mama stuff again, the goals. So, oh, you're going to move here and you said this. And so we go over it. We go over those hot buttons as well. Why do they want to move, right? And just basically an overview, repeat, so you can hear that you tell them, oh, you want to move here and you want to do this. So they know that, oh, she's on top of her game. She remembered everything I told her on the phone, right? And then at this point, I was like, okay, well, I want to talk to you about my services and what I offer. And at this point is when I pull out my listing presentation. I'm not rushing to get to the listing presentation, okay? I'm at least giving ourselves a whole hour to be able to connect and find that rapport. So if you go into conversation about that you traveled somewhere or this, or your kids play soccer and their kids play soccer, let that roll with it, okay? For as long as you can until you build that rapport. And then you slowly now are you going to bring it back to well, thank you so much for the opportunity that you've given me. I am so excited about listing your house, and I want to talk to you right now about what I offer and what I can do for you. So Let me pull up the listing agreement. And sorry if I sound winded, I still get out of breath. Slow down, okay. I don't think this is it. This is it.
She has it attached to that email.
Oh, okay, well, here it is anyway. So this is my listing presentation, or our listing presentation, our sold strategy. And this was compiled of a bunch of other templates that I saw, parts that I liked, and I just put it together and created it for myself. I use a program called canva.com. There's a free version. I pay for the premium version again. It's only like 12 bucks, so cheap. And you get a whole bunch of more graphics. If you don't have Canva, I highly recommend you get Canva because you can create flyers and all kinds of things on it. It's a great tool to have. If you don't want to get Canva, like I said, you can get the free version. And so here it is. This is actually, this couple here is an actual couple that we use, and it's an actual house. You know, we sold them, of course. So we put our sold strategy, Robert and Erica Santana. I haven't updated my website on there, or maybe it's not the one. So we just go over really quick, what are our goals? We want to get to know each other, right? Rapport. I, as a real estate agent, want to make sure I answer all your questions and set all the right expectations. And we're going to go over some important information about the process of selling your home. And then we're going to establish our moving forward plan after that, right? Moving forward plan is when they say, yeah, we want to hire you. We'll hire you. Let's do it. So we're meeting, and I tell them who I am. I'm a dedicated full-time, we're dedicated full-time real estate agents. This is not my side business or my side hustle. This is full-time. I've been doing this for 20 years, okay? And this is my why, my family. You see my family? That's my why. I work hard for my family. I want to give them everything I can. And this business allows me so much flexibility to be with my family and help other families. So you talk a little bit about who you are. I tell Robert is a veteran. Robert sometimes is able to connect with so many people because they're veterans and they always have a bond that's just something that they know that they served. Of course, I tell them I'm a real estate broker. And then we have a full service photographer, graphic manager, which we do. His name is Dorian. He's my son, and he's available for everyone in the office as well. And so we have strong and experienced mortgage title escrow agents to help facilitate the process. And we do, we use a good title company. I have about 3 different lenders that I've connected with, and we have a network of contractors for anything from landscaping to remodeling. Let them know you are well prepared, that you're ready to help them in a lot of aspects, not just putting a sign out there in the yard. And we are true, this is our line, we are true entrepreneurs that started from scratch. I learned every inch of this business from real world experiences, surviving the massive real estate crash of 2008 by focusing on fast and effective customer service and adapting quickly to changes. I did. And Peo did too. Everybody that survived that crash and is still in real estate, we had to learn. We had to be on our toes. 90% of our business, probably a little bit more now, is all by referral. Okay, I don't tell them this part, but it's all by referral because we do a good job and past clients give us referrals. Okay, so it's all by word of mouth. Okay, and then a picture of my family, good service speaks for itself. We're looking forward to the opportunity. We want to earn your business today. Okay, that's our goal here. We want to earn your business. And then we do have a proven track record. This is my tagline. This is how I do it. Everybody does it different. I say when others say low, we say high. Kind of got that from Michelle Obama because she said so. Who was it? It was not Michelle, Hillary. I think Hillary Clinton said something like that. So I thought it was Obama. Anyway, but I tell them, I want to get you. I'm a homeowner myself, and I'm selling a house. I want to get you every single penny of home equity. I want every single penny of home equity. I don't want to leave anything on the table. Okay. So
Volume is
today
not
I'm going to.
working.
What's that?
You're breaking up. I hear parts on and off.
I don't know. Does everybody else hear me okay?
You're going in and out. Yeah.
I'm going in and out.
Yeah. Like sometimes you'll sound clear and then you'll sound like it's like
Cutting in
muffled.
and out.
Okay, I'm going to speak slower then. Maybe I'm going too fast. Okay, so I was saying that this part here, I tell, this is like my little tagline. When others say low, we say high. Like, I'm gonna go high. I want to get you every penny of home equity. That is very important to me because I'm also a homeowner. So I really stress on that part because then I hope that they're thinking, oh, she's gonna work hard to get me my money, right? And then I give them examples of homes that I've sold, and these are actual homes. I haven't updated these a little bit. I'll have this, and then I'll have like other ones that I've sold on the side to show them. When I tell them, look, I walked into this house, and this house, they said they could sell for, I think like 160, this one on Thorn Hollow. This is when the pandemic started. I sold that home for $16,000 more than what the other realtor told them they could sell for. How did I do it? I was able to justify value and find a lot of more details in our home. And that's why it's important for me to be here so I can see your home. Brushy Glen here, I sold for $20,000 above. The other home down the street that was the same size sold for it in the 160 range. I sold this one for like 180. So I sold it for more. And I also am very experienced in areas where you don't have set comparables, where it's a hard area to compare. 1809 McLeland, I put for way more because it was a remodeled home in an area where there's nothing but older homes, and that's what makes it hard to price those kinds, okay? But I was able to get a really good amount of money for that home, okay? Well, my seller is very happy, and I sold 2 more homes that he built on the same street. And that, of course, first home helped me establish that pricing for that area. So I established that pricing for that area because nobody yet was building. Now everybody's building in that area. So I go over that. So basically here's where I'm really telling them, this is why you should go with me, because I'm gonna help you get top dollar for your house. And then we go through what's our listing strategy. Well, I do a pre-listing consultation in which we discuss preparing your home for the first impression, which is really gonna be that day, the same day. If they agree to hire me, I'm gonna do that same day. I don't wanna have to come back, but I do pre-photo meetings, and I do the pre-photo meetings the day of the photos. I show up a couple hours before my photographer because I want to make sure that the list and the things I told them to do, they did them. And I also want to make sure that if there's a trash can in the way or a toilet, I want to be able to go through the house, turn all the lights on. I want to get it ready for the photos. That's what I do.
Hey,
Okay?
Erica, it's like you go on your voice gets real low, and then all of a sudden it's high pitched again.
I don't know what else to do. I don't have a microphone or anything. Is that
Like
better?
right now, yeah, that is.
Okay, I'll just get real close. Let me look up on my nose. That's all I can
Sorry,
think of doing.
Erica.
Yeah,
You're really trying.
The only thing I can think is next time I'll get like maybe I can connect a microphone. Maybe. And
There
that,
you sound good.
that's not too bad here?
Right, it sounds better there.
Better, okay.
Right there.
I
I'll
can
just
hear
get
you
real
now.
close. Okay. So I was saying about the pre-photo meeting. The pre-photo meeting is going to be right before my photographer takes the pictures. I get there. Robert and I get there. Sometimes I like to stage houses. If it's a vacant house, I'll go before, and if it's an occupied house, I won't stage it like I do the vacant houses, but I will put in like plants, greenery, pops of color, sometimes just pillows on their couches, different things. That's just something I enjoy. You can choose to do that or not. That is part of my what I offer. Okay. It's taken me some while to collect, staging props. It's not like I just had it. Over the years, I've things that were left behind, at least I collected them or I would buy stuff. So I didn't always stage homes, but I do it now, and I just enjoy it. We also hang curtains. We put shower curtains in, and just things to really warm up the house, especially if it's vacant, and it works. In my opinion, it works. And so then I go in and tell them staging tips for occupied houses. So if it's an occupied house, I'm not going to necessarily bring in furniture or anything. I let them up. I don't bring in heavy furniture to stage. If you already have a really nice house, I'm just going to tell you how we can stage and with your own stuff to make it look the best and maximize the spaces. Because sometimes they're using spaces incorrectly, and if it's a dining room, let's make it a dining room. So I'll just give them tips, right? So there, but not yet. I'm telling them that's what I offer. That's why I don't do the preview with the first. I first want to sit down and tell them. And then I have contacts for make-ready contractors. If you need, the home is gonna need work, which we're gonna get to that part after they hire me, then I'll connect you with contractors that can help you. Flooring, you know, is it roofing? We'll find out what it is. We have connections. And then free boxes to get you started. I sometimes take boxes with me. You buy them from Walmart. They don't even have to be the big boxes. They're cheap. They're like $1 something. Just buy some and have them in your trunk. 3 or 4 boxes. It doesn't even have to be that much. Okay. But we do like, here's your boxes, start decluttering and depersonalizing them. We don't do that work. They do it. Am I sounding okay? Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is. We're going to go in to tell them what is our marketing strategy. Sorry. Well, we want all the buyers to fall in love with your home at first sight. It starts by the photography. We want them to be like, oh my God, I got to go look at this house. We get the best photographer, best angles, wide angles. We want them to be like, I got to see this house. Come on, and they're calling their realtor, go show me this house, or they're calling you, right? So it says over 95% of the buyers, they do all their online search. It may be more than 95% nowadays, but that's the statistic that I had at the time. So professional photography is a must, and I have the best photographer. Talk highly about the people you work with. I have the best photographer, and he does. We offer aerial shots with drone shots. We can do what's it called, the videos, virtual tour and listing. We could do all that. Now it just depends. Sometimes in a certain price point, you may not want to, because you are having to pay for this up front to the photographer. So, and you have to make sure that it's within your budget for the listing, right? So here it is, and it's like before and afters of using professional photographer, just an example. And so my presentation here is either going to be on a tablet so that these graphics look good, or my printed one is in really good color. Okay, so I'm using it, like I said, I'm not going to leave it with them, it's mine. I'm just using it as a guide, but I take nice visual ones. Okay. And then of course, it's going to go on all the websites. Your home will appear on over 120 sites, including our MLS, which is the main site. And I always stress that Zillow, Trulia, everybody copies off of us. Our matrix, our database is the #1 source for selling your home. Everyone else is just pulling our information. It starts with me, with us. Okay, so that way they don't think that they can go list their house on Zillow or something. You want to make sure that you emphasize that it's us, that we are doing that. We're the ones putting those pictures in. And we take great pride to use all the tools available, such as social media platforms. Your home will also be marketed on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Now we have TikTok. I also use TikTok, so I need to update my presentation. So you want to let them know that you're social media savvy. You do be posting, because besides them doing their searches on the major real estate sites, people are looking now on Facebook. They're looking on Instagram. They do follow the realtors that post. What? Anyway, they do follow a lot of realtors that post homes for sale and so forth. Okay. It says my internet connection is unstable. Just a second, I'm going to check the internet. I don't know how to check it. I'm online? Okay. Okay, and so then we talk about open houses during the process here. We offer open houses. We can do a couple of open houses beginning with the first weekend. And later on, when they decide to hire you, I have another section in my outline where I talk about the pros and cons of open houses. And then you kind of explain that to them and find out if your seller really wants open houses, okay? But there we let them know they're our specialty. We love getting in front of buyers and guiding them through your home. You would think that an open house, the seller is the seller's benefit. Honestly, realtor, it is your benefit, because you can leverage off that open house. You're going to be there. So therefore, plan out your open house correctly. And then don't just show up to open the house. Go and talk to the other people that live on down that street at least, and tell them who you are and that you're selling that house and you're going to sell it super fast. And maybe they're going to want to sell and you pick up a seller. So leverage on those open houses. Don't just show up and put your signs in and get in the house. Try to make it work. When Peo and I first started, when he had open houses, we went knocking to the neighbors and did that. And that's, you know, Peo's very well known in his neighborhood because he, well, not just that, but you know, he does other things, but that was one of the things that he knocked on doors as well. Okay. And so there are other ways that we market the home on major websites. We do several sign strategy placed around the neighborhood for when we do the open houses, social media, weekly newsletter blast. Why I have a weekly newsletter blast? Because I have a CRM, and so I'm able to blast information about houses to my database. Okay, but this is a database that I have compiled over the years, and so it's my past client database, and it's leads that I have collected over the years, and then it's maybe all like maybe new leads that have came in, older new leads. It's a mixture. Okay, so our listing strategy. Right here, I stop. So based on what I offer, I can offer you to get your home listed. We haven't talked about numbers yet. Is this what you're expecting from a realtor? Would you hire me as your realtor? Yeah, that sounds great. That's what we need. What's what we're looking for. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Great. So you would hire me as your realtor? Yes. Okay. So they've agreed. And now we'll talk about the next steps. But at this point, I will stop and let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about the CMA that you prepared, right? Because you have a CMA. Let me see here. Okay, so arrive on time. Enter. Okay. Table, go over again. Okay, so you go over the LP Mama, I go over my listing presentation and what I offer. I've already gone over the marketing plan. Will you work with me? Will you hire me as your realtor? Yes. If they say yes, then they're not going to talk to anybody else. They're ready to go. And then I ask them, you offer what do you expect anything more? Are you looking for anything more from your realtor? Because maybe you didn't mention, like, my listing doesn't virtual tour, but maybe they're like, well, what about this? And what about that? And what do you do? Okay, then find out what more they want. Okay. And then you bring out the CMA and you go over the numbers. Okay. Last few classes, y'all learn how to do the CMA. The CMA that I take is that same CMA that I do over on the mobile app. Okay. I'll take a print. I won't print the whole thing. I will print out like the main page and then the comparable page and then the one that says average sales price. I'll take those 3 pages, but I will take, since I have my tablet, I have it there. So I'm able to scroll through it, right? If you want to print the whole thing, that's up to you, however you want to do it. Okay. So you talk about the numbers, you're going to try to come up with the price. And that's the part where there's objections and so forth. Well, I was expecting this much. And so, you know, that really brings up a lot more conversation. But once you get past, and we're going to discuss that too, the pricing strategy is here. But once you get past the pricing strategy and you figured out where you're going to price, what your goals are, what the plan is. For instance, the one I just posted, I sold over there in Pearland. They only wanted to show it on the weekends too. Some buyers sellers are getting picky about that part as well. So they only wanted to show it on the weekend. And we showed it like 2 weekends and we got really good offers and then we accepted one. So discuss creating urgency. When in the week to list and open for showings. We always try to how much time to allow for them to get their home ready, first of all, but also between Monday and Wednesday of the week, that's where I want to take pictures, really Monday or Tuesday, right? Can I come on a Monday or Tuesday to take a picture? If it has to be the Saturday before, that's fine. I can line up the photographer, make sure I can be there as well. Get the photos done because I want the photos back by Wednesday because I want that listing to go live either Wednesday or Thursday, okay? Why? Because I want to be able, for the weekend is coming. Sorry, there's somebody here. For the weekend, I want that to be open for listings and that you could also do an open house that weekend, right? So typically the buyers are wanting to go out to shop on the weekend, okay? So that's what I put here, suggestion, take photos Monday or Tuesday, list on Wednesday, open showings on Friday or offer an open house on the first weekend to help all the traffic and make it easier for yourself. Pros and cons of an open house. It gets shown all in one day. You knock out a lot of showing requests. So you don't even have to worry about your seller approving the showing request, so forth, blah, blah, because it's gonna be open for, you can open it for, 2 to 3 hours, however you like. And there's opportunity for you to pick up more listings, and there's opportunity for you to pick up buyers that may like that home, or, you can always pick them up to sell them something else. So an open house is a great opportunity for realtors, but you have to know how to use it and leverage it. However, the con could be that you lose track of the people coming in, or you might have not recorded it, or you miss feedback, because your seller wants to hear feedback. What did they think? What were they saying? So that's another thing. When you have agents go and show, then you can ask them for feedback, and then you have a whole record of all the agents that showed. So that's one of the cons. The biggest con is that, and you have to tell your seller this part, anyone can come into your home. Anyone. It's open to the public. So therefore, if it's open to the public, your nosy neighbors can come in, or people that are just looky-loos that just want to see houses. There's people that do that. They just go out on the weekends to get decorating ideas. And then there's buyers that aren't even pre-approved, can't even buy, coming into your home. So is that really what you want to do? Like I said, for you, realtor is an opportunity, but you got to make sure your seller is also on board. I've had some sellers who are like, oh no, I don't want people coming in here that can't buy a house. I want, make sure able and ready and willing buyers. Well, the only way to get that is they come with their realtor, because the realtors, we always try to make sure they qualify, so we're not wasting time, right? Okay, so now let's talk about pricing strategy. There's different ways to go about it. This is when you can discuss pricing strategy with them. And it just depends on your competition in the neighborhood. If there's nothing else for sale in that neighborhood and it's hot, then you maybe could price a little higher, right? You can price low. I've seen some realtors where I go and show the house and I run my own comps. I'm like, why did they price it so low? Well, they want to create a multiple offer situation, creating urgency for that listing and driving the price up. But not just price, also leveraging your listing, because you can ask for better terms, right? They're getting better terms, waiving appraisal and so forth, because you have so many offers because the home was priced so low. And so at this point, you explain to your seller, because your seller will be worried. I was like, well, what if I only get that? You really want to find out the true number that your seller wants. So let's just say they want, let's just say they really want 270, and that's realistically what they can get. Let's say y'all met and so what do we price it at? 258 or something like that. Well, what's going to do is going to drive multiple offers, and they could end up above 270, depending on the market condition, where that's at, the neighborhood, the school district is a big thing, so it really depends, right? Now you can price high and make sure that the home actually can justify it. Does it have a lot of upgrades, so forth? And so that's why you're there, to find out what that home offers, and also what the seller's willing to do to make the home ready, because sometimes it could need paint or something. But pricing high is the way I go, right? If I see it, I do try to, like I said, make a list of all the enhancements and so forth, so I can build it up. And so remember to explain to the seller that it's still subject to appraisal, though. We can list it, we could get the offer, but if they don't waive the right for the right to terminate due to lender's appraisal and waive it, then we're still subject to that, because ultimately that money's coming from a lender, unless they're paying cash, which is great. So you, as a good realtor, do your research. Is it superior? Is that home really better than the other homes? And how do you do that? When you're doing your CMA, you're going to look at those pictures of the other home. That's all we really have. We can't really go see them in person unless they're active listings and you can see the competition. But right now, it turns out that there's really not a whole lot of competition in neighborhoods. So when one home is available, a lot of buyers want it because there's nothing else, right? So that's the pricing high strategy. Now, let me tell you, I have that listing I just put it on Cypress. I gave them my suggested list price, which is the average, right? The average suggested list price your CMA is telling you. That home has no upgrades on Cypress Prairie. The home that sold highest sold at 240, and it had upgrades. It had floors, like updated flooring. new carpet, new fresh paint, granite, from what I can see in the pictures. So I told them the highest was 240, and they said, we want to sell for 240. Well, sellers are getting really greedy because we got 3 offers and 1 offer at 250. They don't want to take it. They think that it's too soon to sell in 4 days because it's been only 4 days. They want to wait. It's like, I'm okay with waiting a whole month to see what more offers I get. So I'm telling her, don't do that, because the longer the home sits on the market, the more buyers think there's no urgency to buy that home. So I explained this to my seller, and unfortunately, this is a husband and wife, and the husband and wife didn't agree, and that's where the problem lied, right? The wife wants to wait to get more. She wants 270 for the home. There's the 240 is the highest. The husband, I think the husband wants to sell it. When I talked to them and I talked to the husband, I said, okay, I can create the urgency. We can price it right here. I can, do you want me to tell the other buyers or buyer's agents that there's multiple offers? I can, because we had 1 offer already at that time when I'm having this conversation with him. Do you want to set a deadline? Because agents nowadays want to know, when is your seller going to make a decision? When is the deadline? Like, they just want to know. So I said, okay, I'll place a deadline. So I told him, this was last week. I said, let's give him the whole weekend plus Monday and Tuesday. Let's do Tuesday, 5 p.m. Seller makes a decision. What do you think? He said, yes. I put that in the agent remarks, and I got 2 more offers. But then when I presented the offers, the highest was 250, solid, strong offer. They said they wanted to wait. So now I'm stuck. Now I'm going to go back and talk to them and let them know, because they have a friend that's a seller that sold their home and he got $28,000 more, they're saying, than what he listed. But how did he list it? Did he price it low? If you priced it low and you got 28,000, then you probably got either between average and high. Did he price it at average and got 28,000 more? Right? We're already pricing it high. So I'm already getting you 10,000 more than the highest price. So that conversation I need to have with them, but I need to have it in person, because the wife, you know, you got to check the people's personalities as well. I got to be able to do that in person. I got to be able to show her, and I want to ask her about her friends that sold. I want to, what's their address? Let me find out how they priced it so I can bring it up as an example. So I didn't want to have that conversation over the phone. I'm going to have it in person with them. They're longtime clients of mine, so I think we'll be okay. But, and then there's
Volume is too low.
Then there's of course discussing the multiple offer, the process, and how to handle it. Like I did with him, do we want to set a deadline? Clarify the notes that we can provide to the other agents in the MLS. And you should have a little clipboard. You should be writing down this information. If you don't have a sheet for it, you've got to take your own notepad, okay? So for instance, when we start receiving offers, does the seller want to disclose that there are other offers on the table? You know, like they do that. You do have to get permission from your seller. And you can even ask permission, do you want me to disclose what the highest offer is? Because other agents will ask. You can disclose that as well. And then you want to take a net sheet. Now you don't know what you're gonna price at, but you can take a preliminary net sheet, print it, or you can just run one right there on your phone and text it to them. I do that all the time. You can text it and email it straight from the app, okay? So that way you know, well, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna list at 275. Okay, great. Let me run you a net sheet so you have that. So they know up front that it's very possible they're gonna have to pay title policy, most likely a home warranty, and then all the escrow company fees. Be prepared to pay your taxes from January to the day you close, and then miscellaneous fees. There may be some HOA fees, you know, hopefully not transfer fees. That's more of a buyer, but you do want to have that expectation set on the net and what charges go to them. And in your listing agreement, you also, of course, are going to include in your net sheet your commission rate, right? Always start with 6% or whatever y'all gonna charge. There's no standard rate. But at this point, if they seem like they're pretty on board, like they're gonna go with you, and you say 6% and everything's okay, so just, you know, you go with it. Sometimes they come back and ask you, or they did talk to somebody else, or you know, or they just got called by someone else. Another thing to ask them you ask them if they're working with another agent, they're going to interview, ask them if they submitted any online requests, because if they did, you bet your butt that they're going to be called by Zillow, Open Door, all the other ones that buy, and Keller Williams is a big one. I'm not going to bash any companies, but they call and they take listings. I had a listing taken from me by Keller Williams. I already had the signed listing agreement. Everything was done. I had already spent my time in there helping him stage, and he did everything I told him. Then they come back and say that because they're going through a bankruptcy, they're going to go ahead and wait, and they're not. And he was very adamant about me replying to the email saying that it was okay for him to terminate. I had a really bad feeling about that couple anyway. So I went ahead and said, fine, let it go, because they had talked about that they had sued somebody else and they were suing this person. I'm like, what the? Like, I need to be careful. Or they're suing people and they're going through bankruptcy. Something's up. I let it go. I had a bad feeling anyway. But they listed with Keller Williams. So obviously they had gone online, submitted something, and Keller Williams convinced them to cancel with me. So beware that they do that. They do that, okay? And of course, Zillow, Trulia, not Zillow, well, Zillow and Open Door and OfferPad. Okay, I recently had a listing on Angela Way. I'm very proud of this sale because I took this sale away from Zillow. This couple, I had done the presentation. We had gone through their home, and I was sure they were going to list with me, but they had a trip planned to Costa Rica. Said, as soon as we come back, Erica, we're going to list and we're going to go. Great. I didn't get anything signed. I didn't, because I don't know, they felt like they weren't ready. Something was still holding them back, you know. I did press to find out objections, and we're going to discuss that too. So what happened was, they came back from Costa Rica, and I knew when he was coming back. So I followed up that day. You know, his name is Alonso, and I started messaging him. Alonso, isn't that? We're ready to list. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to put your house up for sale. I'm super excited. And he was like, oh, Erica, we got, I'm going to sell to Zillow. Like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna sell it to Zillow. I was like, no. I said, but Zillow, they're gonna take all this money away. You know, I started saying they're gonna charge you this. Da, da, da. Well, he screenshots and shows me the offer from Zillow. I had gave him a suggested list price of $395. Zillow was offering him $420,000 for his house. Okay, and they were only charging him 5.7% on what they call a service fee, right? And they had outlined everything else. They had already gone to look at his house. Like, damn, they even went to look at his house. They did an inspection on his house. And on top of the 420, they were only asking him like $2,000 or $2,600 in repairs. That's it. They weren't asking them to do anything more to the house. And the house needed paint. It needed some stuff, some work. I was like, you know, and I wasn't too proud to beg. I told him, no, Alonso, please give me the opportunity. If Zillow can offer you 420, I am confident I can get you 435,000 for your house. He's like, you think so? I was like, I know so. If Zillow is offering that, give me the opportunity. Let me come meet with you today. And he was like, okay, Erica. So he gave me the opportunity. I asked for the opportunity. Please give me the opportunity. I know I could do better. So I showed up. And I told him, we can list. I went again with all my listing paperwork. I know I can get you 435. If they can get you 420, that's 15,000 more. I'll charge you 5.7% too. He's like, oh, I just don't want to lose out on this opportunity with Zillow. I said, well, how long is Zillow giving you to accept that offer? They're giving me to the end of the month, to the 30th. And this was in August, okay? And I mean, I was in the middle of August. I said, okay, give me to August 28th to sell your house. I had like 14 days, y'all, on this listing agreement, okay? 14 days to get the photographer out there, take the pictures, list the home, get the showings going, okay? And I did it. We got a buyer at 435 in like the first weekend right away. And they waived appraisal. They only asked for one repair, which was really important because there was a hole on the roof. The seller said, I'll take care of it, no problem, but I'm not doing nothing else. They didn't have to do nothing else, and we closed. Okay, so I stole that one from Zillow, and I'm proud of it because Zillow's about to take that one from me.
We didn't say-
And what?
We didn't show it right away.
Oh, we also, yes, we created the urgency. We didn't show it right away. I put it on coming soon as possible. As soon as I knew I was gonna list it, I planted my sign in the yard, put it on coming soon. And then I arranged we did do a deep cleaning of that. She did a deep cleaning of the house. I did ask her to do that and just get it ready. Her house was really nice already. We didn't really have to do much to stage it or nothing. Photographer went out, got me the pictures. We activated it. I didn't do an open house. It was just by appointment. The sellers went ahead and left. He said, we're just gonna go out of town for the weekend. So they left Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was open. So I was 30-minute showings and everybody got to submit their offer, and I sold it for $435. And they only had that one repair, and they got more money than with Zillow. Okay. So true story. Look it up. It's on Angela Way. So that's the pricing, the strategy, and so forth, and the multiple offers is important. Discuss how showings are handled. You're the realtor. Are you going to use a showing service? Are you using Showing Time? Payo and I are now using Showing Smart. Or are you going to just handle the showing yourself? You know, it just depends on how busy you are. If you want to handle the showings yourself, you can. Let your sellers know up front how are the selling requests going to come in. Oh, you're going to get this text. You can show them, because you get copies of those texts as well, if you want. Or are they going to do it on Showing Smart? So go through the process of how that is done to set the expectation. Okay, so as it's happening, they're not running into confusions and declining showings on accident or something like that. You don't want to miss any of the showings. Okay. So now you've gone over some stuff. You could have already gone ahead and get your paperwork signed here, right? If you've already know the pricing, and you can go ahead and take your clipboard at this time, and this is where I'm gonna go walk the house, okay? And it is usually Robert and I, and usually I handle more of the visual. Move this couch over here. Can you move this couch over here? And you know, we're gonna put curtains up here, and I go through and I take pictures on my phone, because I'm gonna come back maybe with some staging stuff or whatever. But I'm the one that takes account of like, where am I gonna hang curtains? And Robert does more of the hey, the sheetrock here is cracked, this window's cracked. He walks the outside of the home. He tries to look on top. What we're trying to do is catch and prevent things from showing up on the inspection report. Do we see lifted shingles up there? Is there wood rot around the home? And then at this point, you're gonna have that conversation with your seller. What repairs are you willing to do? If they're willing to do stuff, a lot of them sometimes are willing to get things ready. And some of them like, I don't want to do anything. I say, okay, well, at least deep clean, like I told this people on Angela Way, because they had paint peeling off the walls in one of the bedrooms. So at this point, this is what you're going to do. And you're going to pull up that form to go over how to get your home ready, right? It's let me see here. No, it's not that one. No la tengo. It's in the email. Okay. Here? This one. Okay. So it wasn't attached to this? Sorry, I'm having some difficulty. I'm having a brain fart. Here it is. This is when I go through this checklist, okay? I'm really thirsty. This is when we tell them to do this stuff, okay? First thing I tell them to do, and why, if I have those boxes, I'll pull them out, and I'll tell them right away. First thing you wanna do is depersonalize your home. Your pictures are beautiful and everything, you know, yes, but we want the buyers to come in and look at your house. We don't want them distracted with the pictures, because buyers they're nosy, and they were like, why are they moving? And who lives here? And you know, we want them to focus on the house itself. So that's the first thing I tell them, is just take down all your personal pictures, everything. Start packing it now, okay? You want your home to look like a model home as close as possible. So first start there. And then we tell them about, you know, all this, tidy up, clean up. And I go around and tell them, you know, can you move this? Like I said, sometimes we move furnishings, sometimes we do it that day, or we come back and we do it right before photos. I leave instructions, like that's my clipboard. I'm writing everything I want them to do, and then I'm gonna do a list and send it to them. So they take that list along with this checklist that we've given them, and they start preparing their home. And we set a deadline. we're gonna give you, today is, let's say today, we did it today, Wednesday, how about we come back next Monday? Is that good? No, I need more time. Okay, then how about on next Saturday or next Monday, right? So we can get it done. Robert and I usually try to be off on Sunday, so that's the day we don't do nothing. So that's that part. Everybody has a copy of this, and it's also all this forms also are in Back Agent. You can find them there as well. Okay, wait, I gotta find, here it is. Okay, so deproline the repairs, talk about repairs and so forth. This is where you connect them with their contractors, right? And then you reminder again, all this time, don't be robotic. Don't be all about business. Joke around. Again, you're trying to make these people your friends. And a lot of successful agents, that they have a lot of clients that are there, they become friends, they're friends, okay? And that's where you really want to be. Now, I'm not gonna say there aren't gonna be people sometime somewhere that you never wanna see again, that they were so rude to you and they didn't appreciate you, okay? And on that note, if you're ever dealing with someone up front, you're trying to build rapport with them, and they're so extremely rude, and they're already not just putting up objections, but just the way, one thing is an objection and one is just someone that's being a jerk, right? And I've dealt with this before when I walked into a listing presentation, and it was a couple that was divorcing, and the husband was a really, really big jerk. So I was there, I got there early, he got there late. He wasn't living there anymore because they're separating. And those situations are always very, very tense. I connected pretty good with the wife, and Robert was with me. And so because he was late, I told him, let's go ahead and tour your house, you know, while he's on his way. So I was touring the house. And then when he walked in, I guess he wasn't expecting to see Robert. I don't know. But man, he looked pissed, like just so mad. And we tried to connect, and we couldn't connect. I didn't get that listing, and I honestly thought maybe it was for the best, because if I have to deal with them two fighting or not, and they weren't agreeing on stuff either. And ultimately it was, he also was nitpicking about the commission. He only wanted to pay me 1%. So there was several things. Sometimes you have to decide, is this really gonna be for me? Do I really want to give a lot of time and effort and energy to these people that are not going to be appreciative of me? They don't see the value. And then he only wants to pay me 1%. And the reason why is I feel like he didn't see a value in what we do. And we do a lot. Like I tell them, we're your first line of defense and liability. We're helping to make sure that you cover all your bases. You don't exclude anything. We're trying to prevent any buyer to come back to you, right? And sue you. So we remember that we have a lot of value. It is us, when something goes down or goes bad, they come to us first, so that we are your that defense, protection. And I've told that to other sellers as well, that I feel that they're really trying to reduce the commission and reduce what we do. You know, you got to build that value. There's a lot of value in what we do. We do a lot of work. It's not just putting the sign up there and, oh, it's sold. No, there's a lot of stuff that goes included. As you can see, this presentation is already going on 2 hours, hour and a half. So, okay. And then I put Peo's way, if Peo wanted here to chime in, because I know he does things differently, but the rest of it would be going through your forms, going through your packet, collecting the information, signing the listing agreement. And then here are some objections, you know, why? If they're not willing to sign with you right there and then, they haven't agreed to hire you. First of all, don't walk around giving them staging tips. Like, I don't do that unless we've already signed this listing agreement, right? And if they're not willing to sign, why? What's holding them back today? Are they unclear on something? Is somebody else has to make a decision, you know? Or is it the commission rate? What is it? Ben, you want to chime in there? I thought you were going to chime in on objection. The computer's okay. So, you know, if you can get them to sign that day, you know, try to dive like, well, why wouldn't, so everything I offer is something that you, yes, okay, but you can't sign today. Well, what's holding you back exactly? Now, I really am not a super aggressive salesperson, but I can be. I'm going to ask for the business right now, right here, because I want this business. I probably already, you know, spent an hour with them. So you can ask for the business. So if you're not willing to sign, like, what is holding you back? Like, let's try to find out and try to work through those objections. There could be many objections. Oh, well, I'm unsure. And that's, remember, you want
Volume
to
is messing up.
consult with someone else. Have you consulted with someone else or so forth, right? But if you can get them to sign, congratulations. You can put that, hopefully you carry the sign with you and you're ready to plant it, take a picture, promote it, new listing coming soon, all over social media. You're starting your job now, like you're hired, right? You want to follow up. If you got the listing, send them a thank you gift, send them a thank you card. I use this service called Send Out Cards. But if not, you just go to the dollar store, get a card, write it out, send it out to them. Or if you want to send them a thank you gift, you can send them an edible arrangements. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to work with you. You gave me the opportunity to list your home. You won't be disappointed. Send them that, right? And if you didn't get it and you couldn't get it to sign, like I said, there could be just many things. And ultimately, if you weren't doing your job and building rapport and stuff, that might have been it. Or if you did, and you're not for everybody, right? Not every realtor is for everybody. Maybe they just did not like you. Don't take it personally. Shake it off. Move on. No problem. Okay? So you're going to have more opportunities. You're going to manifest more opportunities. So no problem. Okay? But you gave it your best shot. You have to look at every listing presentation as an opportunity to practice. Okay? So the more that you have, the better. Of course, your goal is to get that listing agreement, right? But if you didn't get it, like I did, like I knew that couple was going to town, follow up immediately with an email. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to. Here's a copy. Here's more information. Anything else that you can send them that is of value, right? Send a thank you for meeting. You can also send them a thank you note. Thank you so much for meeting. Do it through Send Out Cards or go through the dollar store and get one and just send it to them. They will remember you, but you got to do it right away, or already have them in your car and just do it. Stamp it on the way out, put it in the mailbox, and they'll probably have it the next day. That's fast, right? And then follow up again. Do all that and follow up again. Like if you notice they haven't called you, they haven't listed, then follow up again. Find out, like I did. Ask for the business. I tell them, give me the opportunity. You won't be disappointed. If it's just you feel unsure if you're a new agent, I have a wonderful team of agents that I work with, and you can bring that up. I have a broker, 20 years experience. A second broker that's the same 20 years. I have a past sales counselor that's very savvy in sales, and bring up how you have a team if you're a brand new agent. I know that I can say I have the 20 years experience, so forth, but I know for some of you that you're brand new, well, you can't, but you can use other tools. Use our office for that. That's what we're here for your support. Okay. And express how much you want to work. You really, like I did for that Angela Way, that's what I put there. I told him, I really want the opportunity. Give me the opportunity. And he gave it to me, and he wasn't disappointed. And I also found him the house where they went to go lease that they were trying to do on their own. And they had already wasted like 2 applications fees, because every time they would apply, it was one of those companies that say, oh, that home's no longer available, choose another one. That's what was happening to them. They started working with me. I looked up, I was like, oh, I know that realtor. I can get you that house. And I did. And so I leased it, made that commission off that. And then I sold their house for way more than what Zillow was going to sell to them. And that concludes my presentation today, guys. I think we did really well on time. We do have a little bit of time here for questions and answers. If anybody wants to ask anything, or Peo, if you want to chime in on anything else that you just your way, because I know your style is different.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I think that I'm down to 2% phone, because I didn't realize that I had 80% when I jumped into this meeting, and I got to see why it's taking up a bunch of my battery. Anyways, one of the biggest things that I do want to touch on that Erica stated as well is make sure you ask for the listing. Take your papers ready. Okay, don't give them a bunch of information when you walk in. Just give them something. And me personally, I do not give them a price that we're gonna list at. When I get there, I go and I say, okay, now that I've seen your house, I have all this information that you've given me, I'll go back and I'll let you know what I think we can sell your house for. So I'll go back and then I'll look in front of my computer and I'll compare it according to the comps that I see online. You could do it like Erica does it as well, and that works well. It just gives me a little bit more time to try to get them to make another contact with them, say, hey, okay, here's the numbers that I came up with, blah, blah, right? So don't give them a price when you meet them. Don't give them a price. Also, Erica had said something that was big. She said she doesn't walk the entire property. You will find people that are just wanting to get your information, want to get your input because you're the expert. And then they're going to run and use their cousin or their best friend or somebody with the information that you've given them already. So the least information that you give them up front, the better. If you can get them to sign right away, even better. So, it's a little bit different for me because I've been doing it. I do a lot of the listings in my neighborhood. So a lot of people already know me, and a lot of my stuff is referrals. So they, I just show up in shorts or whatever and get the information over to them. Oh,
Yeah.
Another quick thing is ask them, do they have a price in mind that they wanted to list at or sell at?
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, that's a good one to bring up when you ask them if they're going to be interviewing any other agents. Ask them, do you have any relatives that are real estate agents? Okay, that's a good one because it's true. And that's all we have for you guys today. Flor, Lisa, Julie, any questions?
Nope.
Erica,
Yes,
of course I have a question.
no problem.
Erica, in regards to ownership of the house, to find out that they're the real sellers or the real owners, that have the right to sell this house, how we find out about that?
Okay, so of course, when they call you, you get their name and so forth. You have the tax record. What I would do is I would look at the tax record, and in the tax record it says if they have a separate address and the owners aren't living there, then that would be questionable right there, right? Because that means that who are you going to go meet that lives there, right? So, but of course, the only way to confirm who the owners are by using the tax record. And when you get there, if you think something is fishy, then I've never asked them for IDs or anything like that, but you could ask for identification to make sure that they are the sellers. Ultimately, one of the sheets that I collect is seller information sheet, and you even get social security number. You get the last 6 digits of the social security, the name. So you could collect copies of those IDs there as well when you're collecting the information, and let them know that that's for the title company, because the title company does need that information. Okay, and then you open title there. So once you get your listing packet all signed up, you can send everything over to a title company and say, I'm going to be listing this house. Can you run title to make sure everything's clean, right? Most of the times I only do that on listings where it was there's an app that's like what's it called? Inheritance. When the home was inherited or it's just been willed and they had to probate. So, and of course, any times where there's one of the owners maybe had been deceased, if there was multiple owners. So anytime there's issues like that, that's when I really first consult with, before I even list it, I consult first with the title company to make sure what we need to do to clear title and that they won't have any issues. But that would be the only way, Flor, just to ask ID. And I've done that before when I was listing a property, and when he called me, I talked to the husband, and the husband was not on the tax record. And so therefore I kept seeing Andrea Gaeta, and I was like, Andrea, it's like, who's Andrea? He's like, it's my wife. Okay. But all the paperwork I was doing, I was sending to him. And finally I told him, before I list anything, I know I sent it to you. I need to see your wife's ID. And he sent it to me because I needed to confirm, because he's the one running everything, but everything was under his wife. So that's the only way to confirm ownership, really.
Because I had 2 cases. I have this person that is trying to sell her house. I go to tax records and I see a name that made me think. I haven't talked to her yet because she was working on her house on repairs and that. But I see the tax records and I see that the name, that's not her name, and I assume that's the mother-in-law. That's inheritance. It's something like that. The property.
Oh yeah. See. So before That is a little bit more detailed when you go into the listing and collecting your paperwork, because you're gonna need a copy of the will. You have to ask if the will has been probated, and then there's information that goes with that, because they've assigned an executor to the estate. So you need to find out who the executor is. And then all that does have to first go to the title company, let them do their research to make sure that the will, the documentation regarding the executor, all that does match. So that is a different process. I wouldn't list the house. You could put it into coming soon, but first clear all that up. Because if there's something that you got to clear up, then, you know, it's going to be a delay. Or if there's maybe a relative that wasn't cleared or something. So I would first just go with title and let them do their research. So you can, you know, we use Fidelity a lot. Jacqueline or Alex, anytime I have something, I send it to, I just email it to her, tell her the situation, and they're on it right away. They tell me, yep, it's good. They'll let me know if they need some sort of affidavit, because sometimes they need an affidavit to clarify some stuff. They'll let me know up front, so that way I can find out, you know, who's going to fill this affidavit, because we'll need witnesses and so forth. But that's the situation there. It could get a little difficult, but the best thing to do is go straight to the title company, give them the info, and they'll tell you what they're going to need.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's that case. And then the second one I have is widow. Husband passed away. So.
Oh, the husband, yeah. So then when that happens, I've had many cases where that's happened. And then my first question is, do you have a will? And is the will signed by 2 witnesses? Because it will have to be. And then you will have to probate it still. And so all that takes a while. To probate it, you will need an attorney. So they will need to hire an attorney. I had looked into it already before for a past client, that if, can we help her probate? Like, could we just file it with the court and go? No, the court, I called the court and the court said, no, you're gonna need an attorney, because we don't know really what we're doing. And I guess they don't want to waste their time in scheduling court dates and so forth. So she said it was required. So she went through an attorney. I got her an attorney that was only going to charge her $500. There was another attorney that was going to charge her $1,000. She was pressed for time because she wanted to move back to her country. And remember, when, you know, a spouse passes away, sometimes they don't want to be in the house anymore. It's too many memories. It's a very emotional process. And so she was rushed. She paid $4,000 to an attorney to get the executor paperwork and probated everything. So she decided on her own. I try to help her. Like I said, we have to help her with contacts and so forth. And I tried, but ultimately she said no, and she did her own, and it was $4,000. And they got it cleared. Title was clean, and we sold her house right away. And she moved to Bolivia.
Okay, thank you, Erica. That helps.
What's that? That's it.
I say thank you. That
Okay.
helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, you guys, we're always here to help you, whatever you need. Peo, myself, my husband, Nilda. I also want to let you guys know that we're going to be posting about some upcoming events that we're having. In October, we're going to be having our pumpkin patch. And remember, these are community events that we are hosting, we're creating. And if Texas Key Holders is hosting it, then that means Flor Junco is hosting it, Lisa Diaz is hosting it. Every single realtor we have, you individually can take that community, create it for yourself, post it, create invitations, and use it as a marketing tool to your base, okay? To your sphere of influence. Let them know Flor Junco is hosting this. You know, it's sponsored by Texas Key Holders, whatever, but you're the host, because you are hosting when you invite people over. So we'll have a pumpkin patch in October like we did last time. It's gonna be free pumpkins for the families that you invite. And we're gonna have a setup for to take some fall pictures. So my son, Dorian, will be doing the photography. And this is free to your clients. So, you know, Texas Key Holders, and we get sponsors to help us out. It's all paid for. So use these opportunity, guys, for your marketing. And then in December, we're gonna have a little winter wonderland set up, and we're gonna have pictures with Santa as well. So we have those 2 events coming up. Of course, COVID permitting, weather permitting, but I think we'll be okay. The events are outside, they're not inside our office, okay? So for right now, we have those already scheduled. I'm gonna send out an email, and they're gonna have the dates. It's like October 9th and 10th, and then December 4th. for the Christmas stuff, okay? And we also have our holiday party coming up that's also already scheduled, and we're sending invitations out on that. Really hope you can join us as well. But that's it. Let us know what we can do for you. We're here.
Thank you for your time, Erica. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.